mo ti elevate. Orí mi kò lè hibernate. Àwọn bá.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Two Brothers channel. I'm one brother.
And I'm the second brother.
And I'm Rika. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode. Now, over back to you, Mr. Phil.
Hey, today we're going to be looking at a foundational topic. Now, this is one topic that I've spoken about for many years, but it's foundational because it's very important regardless of what you're going through in life. We've just did 3 videos on NSARS and what happened in Nigeria and the importance of knowing where the hope is, knowing where the faith is, knowing where these things and what we would do to engage the future. Okay, now this topic is, I'm going to call it why and how knowledge. Why and how knowledge. There's a difference between why knowledge and how knowledge. Mr. Clay has listened to me say this for many years. Mr. Clay, what do you think about why and how knowledge?
Why and how knowledge is foundational and is one of the main pillars on your journey in personal development. Because when it comes to when you look around you, people are doing so many things, you know, with their careers, with their lives, and you know they know how to do a lot of things, but they don't necessarily check why they're doing a lot of things. So it's important to always know why you're doing certain activities, why you're subscribing to your time to certain things. Why are we doing this program? Why are we together? You know, we know how we can talk. You know, we can be quite eloquent. And believe it or not, we're even getting quite good at presenting ourselves. But you know, the fundamental, powerful bit that you might not see is the why. You know, so the why drives the how a lot of times. So, so back to you, Mr. Phil.
Well, powerfully put, Mr. Clay. Look, one of the things that I learned on my journey quite early, and it's one of the first things that the universe shared with me, is the importance of knowing why. Before then, everybody just talk about how do you do this? How do you do that? How is that done? How do you set for this? How do you get this? You know. However, it was impressed upon me that it is far more important to know why of something. Because once you know the why of something, then the how to do it presents itself always. So whenever I want to do something, whenever I've got an idea, whenever I've got an inspiration or something, or a goal or an ambition, the first thing I ask myself is why. Because I know that if I get the why clear, man, the how is easy peasy. You know, and one of the reasons why we're looking to share this with you is that we've been speaking to you guys listening to us around the world. We've been encouraging you that whatever circumstance that you are in, you can improve that circumstance by the sheer will of your intellectual capacity, intellectual capital, and you're taking responsibility. We've been sharing that with you. Okay. However, now when you now add the why element, why do I even want to do this? Why do I want to create this? Why do I want to solve this problem? Why is this important to me? Now, when you answer those questions, then you'll be amazed that the solutions for what it is that might even look like a dream, that might look like a very high aspiration, the solutions that you need will start presenting themselves to you. The people that you need to talk to will start presenting themselves to you. However, if you're just going about something and you want to get something done, and it's about, oh, I just want to get it done, but you've not really solved the why. of the reason why you want to do, which is the reason. Another word for why is reason. What is your reason to do this? Now, once that is solved, trust me, that is the hard part of it. Because once you've got the reason sorted out, honestly, the solutions will start popping up. And what are the solutions? Those are the house. So whenever you're looking for a solution, whenever you're stuck, usually it's the why side that needs the work. What did I say there? Whenever you're stuck, whenever you can't move forward, usually the solution is hidden in the why. Mr. Clay.
That is amazing. And what you said there is so powerful. And but we probably use that word powerful too much, that it loses its power. But
we're powerful people.
It is never to be underestimated. I know for me, when it comes to building teams or working with people, even understanding people, to motivate other people, you can't really motivate them without understanding their why. You can't really connect with people unless you know why they're there with you. And when you understand their why, and you see them losing momentum or losing motivation, you can always remind them, why they're doing this. This is not torture. This is there's a reason why you're doing this. And once they're reminded of those reasons, then they tend to activate and join you, without much stress. But if you don't understand their why, then it's hard to motivate people, and yourself included as well.
That's what I was gonna say. You can't motivate yourself without you even knowing your why. Mr. Claire, please continue.
No. Over to you, Mr.
Look, I was enjoying you, man. I'm kicking myself for you to say that. Carry on, man. Put it on myself.
Okay, in that case, then I'll pass over to Rike. Rike, over to you.
Okay. Let's be fair on Rike. Rike, growing up, I can't remember, but have I actually shared why I now knowledge with you at all? Has this been something that we've spoken about before?
Not necessarily. I haven't actually heard the phrase that you just used, why and how, but it makes perfect sense on, anything that you're striving towards. And, that's the why and the how. It's only there to fuel your determination and get your goals achieved, So, yeah.
Okay.
So when it comes to, now when we're talking about why, a lot of people don't really, it's not tangible. So what you need to do is you need to make it tangible. So the ways you make it tangible is you make it, it's like, the Bible says, write the vision on the wall, make it plain so everybody can see. You need to write it down. You need to put it somewhere you can see it daily. And it's out there visually. Because the journey didn't start here. Mr. Phil was not created today. Mr. Aleye was not created today. Rike was not created today. There's been a process. So, you right now, you have the ability to achieve whatever you can conceive in your mind. Nothing is there to stop you except for yourself. So, saying those words, you can make your dream world, write it down where you want to be. I remember many years ago where we used to take this to the extreme, I'm talking about writing it down, sticking it on the wall, in the bedroom. When you go to the bathroom, sticking it beside the mirror, you could barely see your face because you've got the wire written on the mirror. When you leave the mirror, you go to the car, it's there on the steering wheel. Like sellotape on the steering wheel. So it's always there. And there were so many places we were sticking it. So somewhere that you knew you would be looking, you know. But you could get that passionate about your why. And people might think you're crazy. People looking at you might think, come on, what's all this nonsense? You know, they might see you like, oh, this guy is a bit extreme, isn't it? But what else should you be extreme about, if not for your future? I ask you. Back to you, Mr. Phil.
You brought back many memories, Mr. Clay. And like you said, we stuck it on our mirror. We stuck it to the steering wheel of the car so that when you're driving and you're looking down, you're looking at your reason, you're looking at your wow. Why? And a lot of people looked at me weird. A lot of people looked at Mr. Clay weird. And like Mr. Clay said, if you're going to be passionate, if you're going to be extreme, what is better to be extreme about than your dream, than your inspiration, than your future? Now we're living that future. Now we can tell you that story. Now we've gone through that phase. There was a time, Mr. Clay will remember this, when I was so, should I say fanatical? When I used to take the flip chart everywhere I went. Remember, flip charts to show people the opportunity.
You weren't the only one. You were ready to flip the plan, the master plan, wherever you were, on the train, you know, on the way to work, you know, on the way back from work. Literally everywhere. In fact, we even turned it into something else. It wasn't even start using it for something that it wasn't designed for in the end.
Now, you know what is important about that? What I learned, and I'm sure Mr. Clay learned in the end, is that journey was actually really for ourselves. It was to convince us more than anyone else. It was to convince us that we're really serious about our life, about our future, about building. Honestly, look, there's a book that I read very quickly. There's a book I read, The Greatest Secret in the World. And this book said, you're going to read this book. And I said, okay, let's read this book. And the book said, you're going to make some commitments. And I said, okay, The Greatest Secret in the World. I don't know if you remember this book.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember it. And it was a pink
book I've ever read in my life.
Sorry? Please say.
I said the most torturous book I've ever read in my life.
Oh, I'm currently living it.
Like, now, The Greatest Secret in the World. And this book, by the time I got to chapter 1, this book told me it was going to take me a year to read it. And I'm like, what? And this was at the time when I was crunching books. I was devouring books. So like a week is a long time for a book for me. You're telling me I'm going to read this book in a year? What is in this book? I'm laughing because the Kusakle said torture.
Yeah, torturous.
The book gave us tasks to do every single day. You either do it or you don't. The only person that will know you did it is you.
Talk about character building.
Character building. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, when I was on holiday, I took this book with me because this book, there's no holiday. When beside the pool, I have the book there. I even made photocopies so that I would not miss. And because it made sure you did something every single day. That's why Mr. Clay keeps talking about the importance of the journey. Ladies and gentlemen, when I finished this book, 365 or the 65th day later, and I picked that 365th day later, and I did it. Look, even I was convinced I was serious about my future. Mr. Clay.
Well, it's all right, because that book is a very small book. It looks so
Innocent.
innocent and unintimidating, and it's like secretly, okay, what could be so big deal? But when you get yourself into that book, and you know that nobody's watching you but you, and you start challenging your own character, and there's so many, it's like things come to stop you from accomplishing what was so simple, what you want to achieve. It's like so many things comes in your way. Like Mr. Phil said, holidays, trips, people asking you to do things. Before you know it, it's like, I'm not gonna be able to achieve what this task. But you have to forge through. You have to persevere through. And it reminds me of a guy that we listened to many years ago that says character strikes the last blow. Of any endeavor, when you're striking blows, character always strikes the last blow. So it's about having that character. And what is character? Is who you are when nobody's looking. That's you. What is your character like? When nobody's looking, nobody's checking up on you, who are you really? Because we all put on masks, right? We all have our pseudo personalities that we present to the world. This is me, But who are you really? When you take the wig off, when you take the makeup off, you can't help yourself.
Rick, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm just laughing here because all of this is so true. Like who you are behind closed doors, when the wigs come off, when the makeup comes off. That part was the funniest to me because I personally went through the stripping away of my external appearance to focus on the inside, And it's very, very, it's satisfying once you get to that stage where you're like, my appearance isn't who I am. It's what I'm building, what I'm creating is who I am. So yeah, I've experienced it.
The reason why it's good to speak to Rika is because I don't wear wig, as you can see, and I don't wear makeup. So she's the only one that could probably speak to that, But so your character. I remember when Mr. Phil said we should do a YouTube channel. Left to me, it wasn't something I was thinking about doing. And I thought about it and I said, you know what, let's do it because there's so much we can impart, especially with everything that's going on around the world. And I've had people reach out to me, saying, oh, do a topic on this, do a topic on that. And I was like, I didn't even know you were watching. So hello, you guys watching. Welcome to the show. Don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe. Yes, but I'm more interested in your comments.
Yeah, comments. No, it's important actually. Everybody that this is resonating with, it's important that you don't forget to subscribe, to click the bell icon, and to like and to comment, because that's how we interact with you. And like Mr. Kunle said, feel free to give us topics that you want us to cover, because if you don't, we'll just go on our own tangent. We're very happy to keep going, but exactly. If there's any specific topic that you want us to look at, then by all means. And so bringing it back to why and how knowledge, yeah, like Mr. Claire is talking about, like, so even this channel, why this channel? I had to be very clear why this channel before we even started. And the reason for this channel is simply empowerment. Empowerment for people wherever they are. Because you see, empowerment and strategies and help for people that think they're down and out. But that is just the illusion of where they are. So this channel is there to empower you wherever you are in the world. And Mr. Claire said in the last video, for everybody around the world. You might be Chinese and this resonates with you. Welcome to the channel. You might be Russian and this resonates with you. Welcome to the channel. You might be Indian. This resonates with you. Welcome to the channel. Guess what we all are? Human beings. Okay. Funny enough, isn't it interesting, Mr. Clay, that the book that we're talking about, one of the best books we've read that's actually empowered us, have been by white brothers. I know that sounds like a TV show or a brand, White Brothers. But people like Jim Rohn, people like David Schwartz, people like Og Mandino. Og Mandino was the one that wrote the Greatest Secret in the World. And back to that book, what I learned from that book anyway, was that it showed Mr. Phil that Mr. Phil was serious about his success. I didn't have to convince anybody else. I convinced myself daily. By when I didn't feel like it, I had to grab that book. When I didn't, I even got to a point where I hated the book. I still grabbed it and I still did it. It got to the point that I'm like, why am I subjecting myself to this thing? But I still did it. To the day that I did the last one. And like Mr. Clay said, I was going to the job. I had to do it at my lunch break because you don't even know this book. This book, there's certain things you have to do in the morning. Something you have to do in the afternoon. Something you have to do in the evening. You can't say, oh, I will do all three in the evening. No, the book doesn't accept that. The book says, did you do it this morning? And did you do it this afternoon? And did you do it this evening? If you did not do those three, you failed. Add another day. Add another day to your 365 days. Honestly, I love that book because that's the greatest in the world. In the end, ladies and gentlemen, don't let me tell you the secrets.
No,
Get the book.
Don't give it away.
Don't give away the secret.
You must read that book. That's a must read. Book. And you know, one of the phrases that came to mind as you were talking, Mr. Phil, is that the world makes way for the man that knows where he's going. You know, the why and the how knowledge. The minute your why is so solidly identified, you will find that the world, the universe, everybody makes way for you. You know, because most of us, we're going to our daily jobs every day. And for those that, you know, that have a job in this season, but there's no clearly defined goals. What are you trying to achieve? What you know, it's not about what you're making in the job, it's what the job is making of you. Ooh. You know, so what is you being part of this? Is it what are you becoming? You know, so the minute you then say, okay, look, this is what I want to do with my life, you find that the world will start making way for you. You know, because not a lot of people have whys are strong enough. You know, it's like going, you know, every day is like going into a why competition. Whose why is stronger? Because if my why is stronger than yours, then I will influence you to be part of my why. If that makes sense, Mr. Phil.
Well, just saying what you're saying there, that if you're working for your employer because your employer's why is stronger than yours. And that is why they're influencing you by employing you. Okay. So again, the why is the power bit of knowledge. And so to make it even easy, Mr. Clare was saying how abstract sometimes when you say why. Another word for why is reason. Your reason. Get your reasons clear. Anything I see, anything I hear, anything I'm about to embark on, the first question I ask is why? Why is that? Look, many people follow without asking why. Then they find themselves in trouble. Because look, there are many good ideas in the world. This looks good, that looks good, that looks good, even that one looks good. What will help you not be everywhere and achieving nothing is having your reason. Because guess what? Once you have your reason, once you have your why, then what doesn't fit into your why is easily identifiable. Oh, no, I'm not going that direction. Mr. Phil, we've got this job for you, but we will need you to be, locked down here forever. I don't care how much you're going to pay me in that job. I'm not interested because I know my why. I know where I'm going. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, Mr. Phil, this is a great idea. Blah, 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 blah. If it doesn't fit in my why, because my why is clear. So the why empowers you to be going in the direction of your own dreams, of your own aspirations. And you know why that is important? Because each one of us have come here in this world to do something. I've come to do something. Rika has come to do something that I can't do. Mr. Akinle has come to do something that I can't do. So they need to know their why so that they do not miss their purpose. So another powerful thing about why is that it points you to your own purpose. Rika?
Yes. I completely agree. I was just thinking here, what is my why? What do I look for? What am I striving for? And I feel like knowing your why is the driving force behind you seeking knowledge. Like, for example, if I want to create something, like I'm thinking of creating an angled mirror. Why? Oh, because when I try and do my hair, I can't really see the back and I can't get somebody to do it. This is for, just me. And I'm like, okay, so if I now know why I want to do it, how I can do it is easy, because that will easily come along with, me searching, how am I going to get the materials and things like that. So it's quite self-explanatory. Just get your why and your reasons in line with your desires, and honestly, anything is capable. Back to you.
Thank you, Rika. Look, I must say this because I'm quite impressed with Rika in the sense that I just said, Rika, she's not, because I just realized that while me and Mr. Claire were talking, Rika was actually absorbing what we were talking about, and she was thinking about it. And I went, Rika, she was like, oh, okay, I'm going to say something. So, Rika, well done, man. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
So let's round up and just say that the power of why, we're going to touch on why in other times as well, okay, because it's a foundational topic, okay, but let's just make it clear in this episode that the why rules things, okay. Let me probably end with a quick story of why it's very important to know the why. There was this guy that, the mother said, go and buy a leg of lamb. And he bought it, and the mother chopped half of it and threw it in the bin. And the guy said, okay, And they said, Mom, why did you do that? I said, that's how we've always done. We chop half of it, we throw it in the bin. So they said, okay. So the guy was observing his mom. Every time they buy it, they would chop half of it, half of the meat, throw it in the bin. And then one day, the guy said, no. This is perfectly good meat. Why are we throwing it away? The mother said, that is what we've always done. That's what my mother showed me. You get the meat, you cut half, you throw it in the bin. So they went to meet the grandmother. Grandmother said, yeah. You get the meat, you cut it, you throw in the bin. Luckily, they had the great grandmother around. Then they went to meet the great grandmother and they said, great grandmother, why do we have to chop half the meat and throw it in the bin? I said, grandmother said, you are still doing that? They said, yes. The mother said, the grandmother said, yeah, that's what you showed me. The mother said, that's what you showed me. The great grandmother went, that time I didn't have a big pot to fit the whole meat. So I had to chop and throw it away. So you don't have to be chopping and throw it away. That was, at that time, I didn't have the capacity that you guys had. So everybody now realized that they've been wasting meat for years only because they did not ask why. Mr. Clay, talk us out.
That's a powerful story, Mr. Phil. And I was looking at Rike's expression, because sometimes, it's always good to see somebody hearing the story for the first time, and you can relate that to so many things in life, in your life, in my life, in our lives, where you need to constantly ask why. Why are we doing it this way? I would say professionally, one of the things that we are challenged is to bring improvements to current way of doing things. We teach you how to do it, then improve on it. So once you know how to do it, you know why you do it, then you find out, oh, you know what, technology actually helps us to do it in a better way. So you don't get stuck in this is how we've done it, this is how it's always been done, and we will never change it. So it's always good to always challenge it, So I'm excited. I hope you guys get this. This is a very, 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 very important episode, talking about the why and the how. And I hope you take the time to meditate on it and question why things are the way they are around you, and why you're taking certain decisions. One of the I'll just end on this. One of the biggest challenges I made this year is never to do something because of financial reasons. Because most people do things because they can't afford it, and that's something I had to change, to say, okay, you know what? Don't stop yourself. It's like, okay, for example, let me just give you a good example now. Let's say you wanted to buy a Porsche. Porsche is your number one car. You've always loved a Porsche. Yeah, that's established. You love Porsches. Okay, so when was the last time you were in a Porsche? No, I can't afford it. So that means you've never been in a Porsche. And then you're saying, okay, when I make enough money, I will then drive a Porsche. That's just one example.
Yeah.
Right? That's the wrong way to look at it. The mindset of the rich is, okay, you know what? I'm gonna test drive the Porsche now when I can't afford it. I'm gonna book a test drive. I'm gonna sit myself in it. I'm gonna drive it around. I'm gonna enjoy it and say, do I really actually want this Porsche? Because the minute you've driven it, you've actually tasted it, you've yummed it, and you're like, okay, this is really what I want. then all of a sudden getting that portion isn't going to be so far away. So that's where I'm going to end. You know,
I'm just going to quickly say this, and I'm going to hand over to Rick, and then Rick, time is gone, so you definitely talk us out. Yeah. Now, just to tag along with what Mr. Clay just said there. Yeah. You see, when you take that Porsche for a test drive, you'll be finding why you really want it. You'll be solving the reason. So once that reason is there, the how-to will suddenly start presenting itself, you know? So again, Mr. Clay's example there is pointing out the fact that, again, you may not have everything, all the ingredients or all the elements aligning until you put yourself in the position where you've really answered the why questions. And when you're test driving that car, when you're going into it, when you're smelling it, when you're touching it, when you're looking at all the parameters, that is where the why will reveal itself. And the why may be, you know what, this is not really for me. It may be that, but at least it will solve you your problem. I'll give Mr. Clay, you might want to say something, and give it to Rick.
No. Let's, you know, that's it. I'm just agreeing with you.
Okay. Okay, Rick.
Well, to end, I'd just like to say the good old saying, ask and you shall receive. Simple. And that is on the universe, because, you know, I've experienced it where I've said, look, I want this and I know why I want it and I'm striving for it and I really want it. And I ask the universe, look, I want this, I'm going to work for it. And the universe provides. So ask and receive. Ask your why being the main desire, and the universe will direct you and give you the knowledge to find out how and why or when you can attain it. So yeah. Have a great time, everybody. I hope you took something great from this video. Peace and love. Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you next episode.
See you next time. Bye.